Rob's Media made a video on XANDERHAL recently. Figured it'd be pretty fun to watch, so yeah, let's yeah, I should probably move my camera a bit. There we go. Now I'm a little bit less intrusive. Emphasis on a little bit. Alrighty. Yeah, let's go ahead and give this a watch.
Man, the streams are dead, bro. Chat is so dead, man. Literally every hate video on me is just, like, people collectively calling for me to go homeless and, like, saying, Zan can't last much longer. Zan can't last much longer. He's going homeless. Soon,
I mean,
guys,
you're not
soon,
helping your
any
case,
day
dude.
now. So, if you want to make my haters maul, then y'all know what to do.
I think that if you
I'm not
continue
here
down
to-
this path, you're
Oh, yeah, XANDERHAL apparently didn't use banks for a good while. Apparently just relied on keeping his life savings in PayPal, of all things. PayPal. Dude, I'm a freaking artist, and even I know not to put my money in PayPal.
going to find yourself completely alone, because this isn't fair.
If things don't change within the next, well, by the end of the year, I will be calling it quits on YouTube. Because, there's only so long that I can grind, like, day and night for pennies from YouTube, and
It was also a
fractions of
Steam
what
wallet,
realistically I should
apparently.
be getting.
On this channel, I've covered a lot of leftist
I seriously don't know how the
or
fuck that
Vtubers,
dude
as
manages
they're
his money.
typically called. And it's not even because of their political stances, but more so because of how they use it to justify their insane actions and statements. I mean, I've seen these guys use it to justify pedophilia before. But today, we're gonna be covering one of these stupider members of BreadTube, a humble streamer by the name of XANDERHAL. And while he's not as bad as some of the other content creators I've discussed on this channel, his long string of controversies make for one of the funniest downfalls in streamer history. And the more I've delved into his history, the more I've wanted to make a full video on him.
To say
From
the
his long
least.
string of bad debates, to his disastrous breakup with his meth-addicted girlfriend, the humiliating beef he stirred of Shoe on Head, all the bridges he burned throughout 2024, and his continued financial decline, this is the legacy of XANDERHAL, one of BreadTube's most thick-headed creators. In 2017, an 18-year-old Alexander Haley would begin uploading gaming content to YouTube, going by the name Pig Puncher. It's a very cringe name that he'd soon change, as someone with his physique couldn't punch anybody, let alone a cop. He would primarily upload videos about 2B2T, Minecraft's longest running anarchy server, known for the excessive amount of edgy content spammed into its
He's at the
chat.
thing.
Though with Alex, it seems like his bread and butter was looking at the crazy shit people would build on it.
The very first place we have here to look at is this giant golden dick statue, and I gotta say, it was built quite well. They went full 3D.
That is probably the tamest thing I've ever seen on 2B2T.
Some nut spewing out. It's even hollow in the middle. Oh man. Oh, you can even go down the urethra into the balls.
Though, going into 2020, he'd eventually change his name from Pig Puncher to XANDERHAL, which is a shortened version of his first and last name. He'd begin posting political content, documenting his passage into left-wing ideologies. His most popular videos were about how he escaped the alt-right pipeline, something that's apparently happened to many BreadTubers, though these people were never usually far-right, and at most enjoyed anti-SJW content and found edgy humor to be funny. In XANDERHAL's case, he watched videos by center-left creators like Chris Raygun and Shoe on Head, while also being provocative for attention like most pimple-faced teenagers.
I was fully entrenched into the alt-right. I spammed Pepe emotes and did the OK hand signal to trigger the libs.
Oh, come on, dude. That's it. I was on freaking Tumblr during my anti-SJW days. At least there we had shit like our air conditioner's sexist to react to. Oh, also Gamergate, but everyone was doing Gamergate. Oh, hey, little Nixie.
And I was no stranger to the occasional anti-Semitic joke. I thought that all the transgender people thought that there was 12 million genders, and you better believe I bought Jordan Peterson's books.
You'd think his radicalization came from all the Nazi shit posted to the 2B2T server, but instead it was videos mocking crazy feminists, which a lot of left-leaning YouTubers made back in 2016. XANDERHAL claims he was a victim of the alt-right pipeline, slowly getting exposed to more and more radical right-wing content due to the videos he was recommended. The blame is placed on a lot of the anti-SJW content creators, as if people like XANDERHAL don't have free will, cause by 2017, he'd start falling down the leftist BreadTube pipeline, switching to the complete opposite side of the political spectrum. He began going down this path because he watched the debate Destiny did with the YouTuber JonTron, where they discuss immigration and
That's like my escape from my weirdest anti-SJW days was just me realizing everything's just marketing. No matter who you are, you're always getting screwed over by capitalism. Everything is a grift. Your politics are completely pointless and a waste of time.
crime statistics.
I came into that debate almost completely expecting this Destiny guy to be a leftist cuck who would just argue with his feelings while JonTron would be laying out statistics and proving his innocence to anyone red-pilled enough to see it. I was wrong, and when that long debate was over, my mind was significantly changed. I realized that the alt-right were ridiculous. They were
Yeah, kind of hard to believe nowadays, but Destiny was actually once known for being good at debates. Of course, nowadays we all know him as a sex pest. And a pedophile. Also a grifter, but that's also kind of a given.
always arguing from their feelings and claiming that they were the ones using facts and logic. In reality, it was the left who actually had facts and reality on their side. It was enough to get me to watch more of his debates. I saw him debate No Bullshit, Lawrence Southern, Sargon of Akkad, Dick Masterson, and many of their fans.
Xander.
Oh, spoiler, by the way. Anyone can say they use facts and logic. Doesn't mean it's true. The quote, philosopher I probably just stole this quote from, that I can't remember who it was. A wise man never has to say he's wise. And to be perfectly blunt, I'm a complete dumbass, so... Don't know what that says about me. Right.
Hall would then begin watching more left-leaning content creators, as Destiny is a bit too much of a liberal for him.
I found more channels such as Sean and Jen, ContraPoints, Dusty Smith, H Bomber Guy, Claudia Brown, and many more. Don't get me wrong, there are very few popular left-leaning political channels than right-leaning anti-SJW ones, but they were enough for me. By then, I'd already started my YouTube channel and reached 1,000 subscribers, and I decided I wanted to be like those YouTubers, not like a copy of them or anything, but I wanted to be the person who could save other young people from falling down this rabbit hole like I had.
He began identifying himself as a breadtuber, making loads of videos criticizing so-called anti-woke YouTubers, which earned him hundreds of thousands of views. Though this was only possible due to refurbishing his political ideation. During some of his early live streams, he'd identify himself as a full-on anarchist.
What type of socialist are you? The market kind, because I think it's an achievable goal within our lifetimes. But at the end of the day, I'm an anarchist.
The thing is, I'm against states too. I'm an anarchist. I'm a libertarian socialist, okay? I'm not in favor of the state, okay?
I don't like borders, and I don't like immigration laws. Personally, I'm an anarchist. I would prefer borders were abolished, and that people were able to move freely around the world.
But this label is something that could drive normies away, so he instead described himself as a sock dem, or a social democrat. This was in response to backlash he got for claiming the US should have stayed in Afghanistan, doubling down after the disastrous withdrawal from the country.
One of the big reasons why I started saying I was identified as a sock dem was following my cancellation for the Afghanistan thing. That was one of the things that made me start saying I'm a sock dem. I still like socialism. I still like the idea of socialism and think it's cool, but I don't want to associate with the types of people that think there's going to be a revolution tomorrow and that, like, the fucking Democrats are pedophiles who are eating babies and shit. You know, like, I think a lot of, like, populist lefties also play too much with conspiracy for my liking. Like, Shoeonhead. I know I keep bringing her up, but Shoeonhead really fucking, like, dips too much into conspiracy theories. She unironically thinks George Bush did 9/11, and I think she actually believes, like, I think she actually kind of believed in Pizzagate or something. No, I don't know about that, actually. But I know she thinks that, like...
Yeah, I would have thought that the Republicans masterminded literally every last one of those conspiracies. Yeah, I'm still mystified by the politically incorrect board just being a psyop from Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, really, but that was actually a thing. I wish I made that up.
Hillary Clinton was, like, raping kids with Epstein or whatever. I think she actually believes that Hillary Clinton had Epstein killed.
His transition into XANDERHAL would lead him to collabing with a multitude of other leftist creators, first being featured on Destiny's stream, though his most profitable connection would be Vosh, an ex-orbiter of Destiny known for its crazy debate tactics, and it appears that many of these tactics rubbed off on XANDERHAL to his overall detriment. XANDERHAL is best described as a midwit, someone with average or slightly below average intelligence, who believes they're the smartest person ever, and he's definitely aware of his intelligence level, as he infamously took an IQ test in early 2021, struggling with it as he constantly hits his weed pen.
So what isn't on here could be the question. But every
there's your
option
frickin' problem,
is
dude.
one that's already on there. There's no unique option. Maybe these two fuse together? That could be interesting. So would it be... But that's impossible, because there's none that's a box with a dot in it. This one has me truly stumped. Oh god, that's not good. That's not a good IQ right there. That's a slightly below average IQ right there. That's about what I expected.
XANDERHAL then spends the next 20 minutes coping about his below average IQ, bringing up various excuses and banning people in his chat.
To be fair, I will say this. It has been shown that when you're not hungry, you perform better on tests, and I have not eaten today, and I am starving right now.
And you're doing weed,
Who sent me
dude.
that test? I'm permabanning them. Does anyone remember who sent me the test? So I can permaban them? Because now I feel shit about myself.
And then he watches the Adam Ruins Everything episode on IQ, going with the angle that those tests are pseudoscience. But he clearly only has this take because his score is so low, bringing it up to satiate his level of embarrassment.
That is true. It would be hard, because it would, if you don't...
Okay, yeah, they are
God.
scams, but...
That's the thing, though, but this was a simple, like...
Dude, you're
Was
taking
that
drugs
English?
during a freaking
I'd be concerned
test.
for XANDERHAL's well-being, but at least his
Sheesh,
IQ was
dude.
better than Sneako's. You know, he may be retarded, but at least he's slightly less retarded than the red pill.
Common sense is a fallacy, no.
My favorite part of this stream is that he ends up calling his mom, since she spent years gaslighting him on this very subject.
You suck at this, babe? Oh, listen, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I took an IQ test when I was in, like, 4th grade, my mom refused to tell me the answer. She told me it's because my score was really high and I'd like, make fun of people for having a lower score than me. I think it was probably because my fucking score was low, okay? I'm yelling at my mom right now. Hold on.
Most likely, yes.
You lied to me when I was a kid. My IQ is below average. What the fuck? Listen, I took an IQ test on stream and I got a 97. That is my IQ.
Who's smoking pot?
I've smoked weed 3 times and I don't like it.
You see what it did to your brain? You see, Mitch McConnell was right. Sure, listen to him. He turned into a turtle. What drugs do to you?
You
You don't get a
realize
neck anymore.
you've realized I've smoked weed like 6 times, haven't done it in like 4 months because I hate it and throw up every time.
Yet, he continues smoking copious amounts of weed after this, infamously puking on stream during a subathon.
Basically just nodding their head as if you're
You
a
could
child,
quit
and
anytime, Jesus fucking Christ.
along with what they're saying, but not actually internalizing that.
For a lot of people. What? Did XANDERHAL just die?
I think
Did
he's
he?
thrown up.
XANDERHAL died! No!
Okay, guys.
No!
Wait, everyone stop. Calm yourself, calm.
Oh, fuck. Christ.
Hi, Lonnie.
I'm okay.
Despite both him and his mom knowing how bad weed is for him, he still does it quite often, once tweeting out,
The act of smoking weed and being high is the most unpleasant feeling I've ever felt. Weed tastes like sweaty asshole, and I vomit hard enough to pressure wash the paint off the wall 2/3 of the times that I get high. And yeah, I still do it when I'm bored.
Yet despite his low intelligence and chronic weed addiction, XANDERHAL has taken it upon himself to debate a multitude of other creators. In fact, he even did a tier list ranking them all. Obviously, I'm not going to review each and every one, but I want to highlight 3 of the stupidest. The first debate is regarding the YouTuber PewDiePie, who XANDERHAL has criticized numerous times on his channel. His stance is that Felix isn't a political extremist himself, but instead encourages racism by not taking a hard enough stance against it. A PewDiePie fan challenged him on this, pointing out how Felix has changed over the past few years since the bridge incident. He vocally spoke out against anti-Indian sentiments during his T-Series beef, and even donated money to Black Lives Matter. But XANDERHAL's main quarrel is that Felix wasn't virtue signaling hard enough.
I mean, I know he's like donated to, was like the ADL or something?
Yeah, but it wasn't just donating, he made a statement.
I mean, did he even make like a video, like saying, I am against the people in this community, I want them gone?
No, of course not. But,
Yeah, the ADL, who infamously didn't not condemn
I mean, that's where the most people
Elon
hear it.
Musk for
Listen,
his
Felix, I know you don't like
Nazi
Nazis,
salute.
but I'm just not feeling that energy. You need to repeat the phrase, "I hate fascism," over and over again until I'm satisfied. This really just shows how simple his mind is.
Also, they slandered
the guy
him.
needs jingling keys in front of his face to understand basic concepts. This is the same guy that thought an MC Jarbo's song about Sargon of Akkad was actually sung by Sargon himself.
It's time to bust out the steam leader.
You're Sargon.
Damn straight. God, that black dick looks amazing. Oh my god.
That made me want to kill myself more than listening to 100 Gex, and that's an achievement for Sargon and whatever the fuck the other guy was. But
after this, XANDERHAL would somehow lose a debate to a literal tanky named Hazal Din from the Infrared show. He spends the whole debate smoking weed and drinking out of a beer bottle, claiming he's drunk throughout the 100-minute runtime.
And you would say every single fucking one of them was Nazi, or was CIA propaganda. I'm drunk as fuck right now. I've just come in here to argue with you.
Listen. I'm not gonna dismiss your sources as CIA and Nazi right off the bat. I'm gonna go through them with you. So why are you making assumptions?
I'm not here to argue with you about every fucking source. I'm drunk as fuck. I'm having a Meteor stream.
So I want to know where you get the idea that there was a genocide, intentional genocide against Ukrainians.
I never said it's comparable to the Holocaust. Also, let me just go ahead and translate what you just said to something that makes sense to the average audience. Essentially what happened was there's something called the building up of economic... sorry, I'm drunk as fuck right now, but I'm having a good time. Don't worry. You're a very, very fun person to talk to. I'm very drunk right now, but can I get, like, very... like, leaving, like, the meme, like, argument stuff behind, can I get, like, very genuine with you for a second?
Yes, please. I've been waiting for that.
So... I love socialism. I don't know if my rhetoric is kind of off right now because I'm very drunk, but I feel like we have to...
what your point is.
I understand that. I have to go pretty soon because I'm very drunk and I probably need to fucking end stream soon.
Usually when you're drunk, you'll do some stupid shit, but I've never heard of someone getting inebriated and proceeding to debate a communist on geopolitics. And maybe he could have won. This could have been XANDERHAL at 1% of his power level. I mean, it was pretty smart for him to use his drunkenness as an excuse to exit a debate. A tactic he adjusted from his previous debate with the YouTuber Ask Yourself. During this conversation, they discussed topics like veganism and capitalism. When XANDERHAL struggles to grasp a particular point, he interrupts the convo to ask his chat how to beat Dark Souls.
I appreciate that you're trying to put the burden of proof on me, but if you can't prove your point, you should be agnostic, which still doesn't ground you to say all consumption under capitalism is unethical, right?
Hold on a second. Hey chat, how the fuck do I get the thing to go to the DLC area? I killed the Hydra. I have Dusk's ring. I killed the little crystal dude, and nothing happened. Do I have to like leave the game and re-enter it or something? Get to kill the gold one? Where's the gold one? Is it back where the Hydra
And I'm pretty sure everyone sucks at video games while they're
Go back to the lake. Okay.
they're debating.
Sorry.
That's
what were you saying?
So not only was he losing this debate, but he was also getting his ass beat by a video game. Bro was managing 2 L's at the same time. I honestly don't know how the situation could get any worse.
You need to
You would support a Holocaust.
focus a lot of your resources on different L's.
Well, obviously I don't support it for animals, but I mean, if it turned out their human meat was really good, had no health problems, and I was like, yeah, I want some of that human meat, then yeah, maybe.
What the fuck is happening? I mean, I won't say he actually believes this,
Yeah.
as according to his own logic,
Actually, I have to ask that too. What the fuck?
The context to this doesn't make it any better. Ask Yourself was basically doing a factory farming argument. We're all pretty familiar with those on the Rob's Media channel, and XANDERHAL fell for the bait.
And you had like a moon
Yeah,
colony
same
far
here.
away. You wouldn't even think about it. You would just go to the store, just like you do now, and pick up a slab of human meat. There were no health consequences whatsoever for eating it. It was super good, just like a steak or whatever. You just picked it up, you took it to the store, and you know, these humans, like, honestly, it would probably be more, in my moral system, more moral than like buying my computer parts. I'm pretty sure most of them were made from like isn't lithium in computers? There's like tons of people die mining lithium, right? Like there's probably more human cruelty that goes into my computer that I'm using right now than would this like theoretical situation. So of course, if I wanted to be morally consistent, I would be fine with this.
Dude, Vosh ruined this guy's brain more than weed ever could. He was a step away from debating the ethics of child pornography.
And this is going to be a real hot take. I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child pornography should be illegal.
A real Vosh quote, by the way.
By 2020, XANDERHAL had already accumulated a decently sizable audience for himself, mostly comprised of fellow leftists who liked torturing themselves by watching his debates. But XANDERHAL was ambitious, seeking to expand his audience through connecting with a far different audience. He wanted to court the commentary community.
So we need to defeat these people and radicalize their fans to the left as well. The way that I think is the best way to... This is my best method for doing this, and you're going to see me doing it a lot in the next 4 years. Leftists need to infiltrate the YouTube drama community. The YouTube drama community is
there's already like several people in the leftists in the commentary community.
There is not any leftist representation in the YouTube drama sphere, and I plan on getting into that quite hard. When there is YouTube drama
Polecat still exists,
like non-political YouTube drama happening, I'm going to worm my way into that shit, and I'm going to give my takes on it. I'm going to try to build myself into that community.
Bro was just giving the game away. Bro was just blurting out his internal monologue, letting everyone know his strategy. His fans told him this was a bad idea, by the way, but he still tried it. His first step was to go after Keemstar, believing he was a gateway to the alt-right that was pushing the drama community back. However, it also seems like XANDERHAL is just mad that Keemstar called his daddy Vosh a pedophile for very obvious reasons.
Oh yeah, also he's been calling Vosh a pedophile for clips
he
that
is a
have been
pedophile.
Like, debunked and like explained like a million fucking times. I'm not gonna get super into it because Vosh is already dealing with it on his own. I'm not gonna fan the flames of people's dumb shit, but Keem's also been doing that, so you know how it is. Basically, anytime Keemstar gives his take on left-leaning political figures, it's always in a negative way. There is no reason at all to believe that this dude is left-leaning.
I mean, it's hard not to when all the big online leftists are degenerate freaks, constantly getting exposed for heinous shit. The worst thing XANDERHAL pulls up about Keem is the gamerword incident from over a decade ago.
The guy is like what most well known besides his drama channel for screaming the N-word. Oh wait, fuck, guys. I just realized I can never debate Keem on my channel. Because if I do, he's going to call me the N-word.
Vouch also said the N-word.
Alex. He won't be able to help
I'm pretty sure this was common knowledge.
Fuck.
Yo, everybody type in the chat, Alex is a stupid name.
Keemstar chose to belittle XANDERHAL, not taking him very seriously. Xan took this as cowardice, as Keem didn't want to debate him and give him further attention, though fellow commentary channel Willie Mac Show did, taking potshots on Twitter. He described XANDERHAL and those like him as literally a bunch of 16 to 24-year-olds that think they have the whole world figured out. The two would debate shortly after
Willie Mac
Augie
was
RC
also
show, with Willie
somewhat
mainly
leftist.
taking aim at how cringy XANDERHAL can be.
Hello everyone.
Or at least he has leftist
takes.
takes.
Commentary council today, where all major decisions on drama happen. Augie RFC, thank you for having me.
Welcome.
And
welcome,
I want to
man.
discuss the cringe lord Xander.
Oh.
Today I charge Xander with 4 major crimes against commentary. 1, Xander is a completely dishonest debater. He makes absurd comparisons while doing complete mental gymnastics. I'm charging Xander with numerous counts of being a bitch-ass backpedaler while never admitting when he's doing it. He always comes up with some excuse for why it makes sense. Xander is also a wishy-washy little boy. In the same video, he'll go back and forth on the same opinion several times. He doesn't even notice, which I find pretty interesting. And finally, the dude is a self-admitting grifter. I mean, you even heard it when he first came in the call.
A big point of contention is that XANDERHAL believes you shouldn't criticize female creators like Pokimane super hard, because you could potentially attract misogynists into your audience. He clearly doesn't know why Pokimane is hated, especially amongst the commentary community, claiming all the drama surrounding her is a massive nothing burger. Just ignore the false copyright strikes and attacking people's sponsors. She's a woman, and misogyny exists, so you can't go after her.
You gave your opinion on Pokimane. You literally summarized all the hate for Poki as everyone hates her because she's a girl.
Yeah, no,
and,
definitely. Yeah,
and
no,
we don't
I
know
don't
what
think there's-
comment.
I don't
and we
think
don't know
there's-
what copyright it is. And you're completely wrong.
Yeah,
on
no,
that.
I
That's
don't.
missing the
I
whole
don't
point.
think. I don't think that most people
people would hate Pokey as much if she was a dude. Absolutely. Yeah, no, the drama around Pokimane is probably some of the biggest nothing.
Yeah, shit like this is exactly why people never took feminism seriously.
Not knowing anything you're talking about on that.
No,
subject.
I've seen a shit
Well,
ton
that
of
and
content
TERFs,
around
but
Pokimane.
that's
Probably the
another
biggest
subject.
propagator of it was Leafy, who literally went on about how he was never going to stop making videos in Pokimane until he got banned.
Dude,
And
that's
then,
the
like, when he
equivalent.
did, everybody got really
That's
angry.
the equivalent of saying the content cop on Leafy is only about his chin. Like, you're missing the greater picture there.
It's all very gay, and the debate ends with the two name-calling each other, which is pretty funny.
Xander, you just sound like you're fucking crazy, dude.
You sound like you're a fucking idiot.
Dude, you're going on about how Keemstar.
Glad we can reach common ground over here.
I don't know what else to say, dude. If you think like Keemstar saying that leads to like radicalized shit, and you get radicalized playing Minecraft, I think that says
You're doing the thing again, my dude. You're doing that. You got radicalized playing Minecraft again. It's very very telling of how little you are able to grasp the concept of radicalization towards fringe political groups.
This debate pretty much halted any chance of XANDERHAL joining this community, as he was way too on the nose of his intentions. I mean, the guy was instantly ready to suck on these guys' cocks. Metaphorically speaking, of course. If we were talking literally, he would be cosplaying Destiny. XANDERHAL got euphoria whenever a commentary channel followed him on Twitter, treating it like the biggest achievement ever.
Subordinary Gamers follows me on Twitter. Guys, I made a video on Subordinary Gamers, and I was really careful about it, not to come off as very standoffish and like an asshole. That is good. This is a win.
I mean, I could think of plenty of ways you could get radicalized by Minecraft, but
that would be a big
none are pretty
XANDERHAL was still
good.
somewhat amicable with certain commentary channels, most notably appearing as a guest on the Half-Baked podcast, hosted by Nicholas Diorio,
thank you.
Turkey Tom, and Lord Vega. Shout out to my boy Vega. While watching this episode for the first time, it became pretty apparent one of the reasons why he wanted to assimilate into commentary. XANDERHAL wanted a more mixed audience, wishing to escape the woke scolds criticizing his language, citing a comment from D'Angelo Wallace.
But I believe that you got into some trouble for saying retard on a stream. And I think, actually, funnily enough, D'Angelo Wallace was in the comment sections of one of those videos being like, wow, he's ableist or something like that. I was curious about your thoughts on the use of like kind of words like that, and like, you know, is it okay to say fat? Is it okay to say retard?
Oh god, D'Angelo Wallace was upset at me about that. That one hits hard. That one, yeah. So
it was just like one comment, but yeah.
Yeah, I've just decided to stop saying it because it was just causing so much shit and that kind of drama. Like, it's not that much.
Though he eventually ceased any direct engagement with these guys, as he found the drama community as a whole to be toxic. Which is ironic, as XANDERHAL would then go on to associate himself with far more toxic people.
It's really unfortunate how much,
like Keppels.
Like the right has their claws dug into EdgeTube and like the commentary drama community, because it feels like it's almost one big amorphous blob at this point. But it's really not. Like, there is more nuance to it than that. It's just, it can look like that from the outside looking in when there's so much like edginess and like toxicity from like the surface looking down.
XANDERHAL has discussed numerous times on his channel that he used to be an incel, an involuntary celibate. At 16, he got rejected by a girl and became completely disinterested in dating.
Oh,
believing he was
goody.
an ugly freak. So he turned to the
Things
internet,
are finally
quickly
clicking
becoming
into place, aren't they?
radicalized, as he seems really susceptible to that.
I was a bit of an incel. It's probably what led me to being more right-leaning when I was younger. I literally... Fuck. Back before our incel was banned, I browsed that subreddit on the regular.
But then, when he actually got some
No, at the very least, he didn't become a mass shooter.
He and bone smashing to achieve the perfect jawline, becoming an ultimate stud.
If I'm being real, I've actually got like a lot of women that go after me. A lot of it is probably because of my notoriety online, but like a fair amount of it is because I, like, as much as I meme about it, I think I'm a fairly good-looking guy. Like, in terms of like, I've got a pretty fucking strong jawline. I mean, you know, you can tap the fucking jaw there. I got a pretty strong chin too, you know?
He even brags about porn stars in his DMs, which all confident men do.
I've literally had like A-tier porn stars hit on me, okay? I'm not joking around about that, all right? Like I'm literally friends with this woman,
All right? Let's just say you can get out of the incel shit, okay?
But now, as a far-left political commentator, XANDERHAL has transformed himself into a white knight, defending women online who he believes are exempt from criticism. Though just like his defense of Pokimane, it's always completely performative, labeling all hate as misogyny instead of treating it with the nuance it deserves. During 2020, he chose to defend the YouTuber iDubbbz when he was getting called a cuck for allowing his then girlfriend to start an OnlyFans.
The people who are jacking off to another dude's girlfriend.
If he breeds, he's a
When
cuck!
he's the one that's fucking her, and they don't actually get to do it. The guys going on her OnlyFans and paying her money are the cucks. iDubbbz is the one that's fucking her. How is she a cuck? Or how is he a cuck? Yeah, they're projecting pretty hard. No, 100%.
This argument makes no sense to me, since Anissa isn't fucking Ian on camera or anything. Also, the reason people call Ian a cuck is because OnlyFans creators, or their managers, usually have to message their fans and take requests for their content, something Ian wouldn't be a part of. XANDERHAL would also defend both Bad Bunny and Invader V when they crashed out on livestream begging for donations. He claims the hate against them has gone too far, but the worst examples he can find are people calling them Twitch thoughts.
You are a 30-year-old woman going through life by begging for donations from internet virgins.
It's technically cucks.
Damn, your legs are pretty hot. Guess I'm obligated to pay $5 for that service you offer. You don't deserve subs. Like, oh god. The Quartering made a video on it. I'm sorry. But like, we have to agree, even if you think that video was like, if her tone was distasteful and inappropriate.
Wow, that was ominous foreshadowing for shit we'd learn about the Quartering later.
People need to stop using the whole like Twitch thought begging for money thing as a justification for misogyny.
XANDERHAL also downplays the actions of those women who film random men at the gym and accuse them of being creeps. He ignores the fact that they do this for publicity, as some were proven to do this as a form of promotion for their adult content.
I completely understand why in that situation, especially after he approached her, and to be clear, she made that TikTok and added all of like the little stare counter and like the little messages and everything after he approached her, and she would have like gone home or been in her car or whatever. I have no doubt she felt uncomfortable from that interaction and uploaded that with the feeling as though she had, you know, felt like she was in danger.
So with XANDERHAL's reputation of being a supreme ladies man, what lucky girl got to date XANDERHAL? Well, that would be a fan by the name of Lonnie, aka Pastel Leftist. They began dating when Xan was 20 and Lonnie was at least 28, with her being a frequent figure in his chat. During his debate with Destiny, she began accusing the latter of being a transphobe,
I remember the last
led to Destiny
age gap.
talking her. XANDERHAL just sat there
where that occurred.
cucked.
Wait,
Who is
Lonnie?
And well,
Lonnie's my girlfriend. Oh, nice. She's a fucking moron. So, like, she even just did it to me. What I just said was, that is transphobic. Sorry, go ahead. What were we saying? Okay. My girlfriend's off limits, okay? All right. Tell her to stop talking shit about me then. Okay, sorry, go ahead. But I can't control her. Wait, I can't control... Then you can't control me talking shit about her. What the fuck? I can't... Listen, I can't control women. I don't have that power.
Destiny. You get worse.
Them. Treat them like equal people, all right? You say dumb shit. Yeah, equal rights means equal fights, okay.
On stream, the two seemed to be in a pretty happy relationship, though behind the scenes, things slowly fell apart. They break up in May 2022, with Lonnie dropping a twit longer 2 months later, levying various accusations.
Yeah, I heard about the Star Fox coming to Switch too. I don't care because it's another remake of Star Fox 64, which we already have enough of.
Against XANDERHAL. She chews him out for breaking up with her over the phone, keeping some of her stuff, including her cat, and overall neglecting her as she became homeless. XANDERHAL would respond over the next week, and for the sake of cohesion, I'll be covering their statements through a proper timeline. According to XANDERHAL, the relationship began to fall apart when he noticed money going missing from his PayPal account. Many thought this was in relation to an infamous tweet he put out months prior, which reads,
So, someone hacked my PayPal or Steam, I don't know which yet, somehow and siphoned all of the money into their Steam account. Rest in peace, all of my money.
When someone asked why his bank couldn't interfere, he replied,
I don't use the bank! I use PayPal!
There was also a tweet about his broken computer where he asked his audience for
Yes,
help.
this actually
My
happened.
$6,000 PC is basically completely broken. I started getting System32 errors when trying to launch like 50% of my programs. So I tried everything up to resetting to a previous date, and now I can't open any programs. I really need help here. I can't afford to replace any hardware.
So XANDERHAL already had a reputation for being financially irresponsible, though he claims the PayPal tweet was misinterpreted. At the time, he was in between banks after moving to California, though the thought of Zan keeping some of his
frickin'
money
tell me
in his
about it.
Steam
I want-
account is really fucking funny
I
to
want
me.
Fox
Maybe
to
buying
just
Steam
fuck
games to
Crystal
him is
already,
the new
dang it.
crypto. I just hope he doesn't get rug pulled after buying a bunch of gacha games. But XANDERHAL clarified that this situation was completely separate. He noticed that certain transactions were being hidden from him on his business PayPal account, including one for a gambling app that he had never used. He confronted Lonnie on this, to which she replied, "Nuh-uh." In hindsight, he realized that it was Lonnie doing this, as he had later learned from his ex-best friend that she was addicted to drugs and gambling, though at the time, she made various excuses
Oh, wow,
for why his money
thought-
was going missing.
Before
That-
this,
that would have ended
occasionally
in
money would
disaster.
get stolen or go missing, and Lonnie would attribute it to debit card skimmers in gas pumps or her losing the card, which I would promptly deal with by canceling said card and ordering a new one from PayPal, which takes 10 business days to arrive.
In her twit longer, Lonnie claims that she always kept his debit card on her, and it happened to be stolen from her car alongside her laptop. This guy must be Mr. Magoo or something, cause how the hell did he not put the pieces together already?
The money, Skylar. Where is the rest? Skylar, where is the money?
Eventually, Zan got tired of her leaving the apartment for long periods of time with his money, so he got new cards and broke up with her through text. He began moving out, partially because Lonnie wasn't paying rent like they agreed to, instead spending the money on who knows what. He learned that they were 8 months behind on rent, but his landlord went easy on him as Lonnie had apparently been hiding their notices.
Funnily enough, the apartment complex manager also let me know that she had been leaving notices on the door.
A rare
for the
moment where
last couple
XANDERHAL
months,
isn't the
informing
villain.
us that we were behind on rent and the consequences.
Don't get
of
used to
not
that.
paying it. But I never saw any of these until after Lonnie got her job, so I'm guessing she was hiding those too.
At this point, XANDERHAL just wanted her to pack her shits and move out, even allowing her to enter their apartment when he was away. Instead, she'd occasionally stop by to change clothes and see her cat, spending the next several weeks couch surfing and sleeping in her car. XANDERHAL theorizes that she was stalling so he'd get an eviction on his record.
I messaged Lonnie and I informed her I was no longer living there anymore and it was time for her to start packing her things up and finding a place to live. But she would argue with me and claim she
hey,
had
Riddle.
nowhere to go and nowhere to put her stuff. I told her that did not matter to me. The apartment
Again.
complex told me, and she already knew from the notices on the door, that in 1 month, they would be evicting, and everything in that apartment was going to end up in the county dump. I also informed her that if she didn't voluntarily move out of that apartment, and she's still living there on the day that they come to inspect, then I'd get an eviction on my credit and wouldn't be able to rent again. She needed to move her stuff out. I don't wish homelessness on anyone, but it just had to happen. There were notices being put on the door for months, and she was hiding them. She knew this was coming. She had plenty of time to prepare.
XANDERHAL would then have to place her stuff in a storage unit, and took her cat Luna with him due to the AC not working. Lonnie says this was just an excuse to steal her cat, despite XANDERHAL clearly not wanting to keep it. She then proceeded to lock him out of their apartment for days on end, and Zan got a letter in the mail showing that Lonnie was trying to get a credit card under his name, and after some quick digging, it turns out she had tried this twice before. So he decided to press charges on her for multiple counts of identity fraud, but before he could report this to the police, he was alerted that Lonnie got arrested for something completely different. In her twit longer, she says it was just because her vehicle registration
I'm having
expired,
deja
and that
vu
they
to
searched her car
the
because her friend was on
Illuminati
probation.
fallout.
But then XANDERHAL
For
pulled
some
up her
reason.
arrest record saying,
"You stole
Don't
my
know
money.
why.
You spent it on a secret meth addiction and just got out of jail. We broke up over a month ago. This is a sad attempt to extort me. More information coming soon."
So yeah, not only did she get in trouble for having an expired license, but she also had fictitious checks and was in possession of methamphetamine. The guy she was with had an out-of-county warrant for his arrest, and she'd end up spending 5 days in lockup. Xanderhal would proceed to ignore her calls, leading to a small minority of woke skulls that chew him out on Twitter, insisting he helped Lonnie in some way. If you think this, you are retarded, full stop. And it was actually pretty awesome how Xanderhal relished in her defeat.
It just feels like you're really relishing the idea that she's gonna have bad things happen
Wait,
to
but
her.
wait, hold on. Have you ever been in a situation like this? Have you ever been fucked over to this degree?
Yeah, I definitely know you made that mistake
I
before.
didn't get her arrested. She was out, got arrested with drugs, and it happened to her because of her actions. Why should I feel bad? She was out, she was literally... I don't know.
Though this is the part of the drama where my support for Xanderhal diminishes. He then makes some crazy statements about how he returned to their apartment, finding it a complete mess. He claims to have photos of all of this, including a deranged to-do list, a cricket machine made for crafting fake IDs, and a meth-making operation in the living room. It flat out just sounds like a rejected Breaking Bad episode.
She had a drug-making operation going in the living room. And I won't go into super big detail on that. We threw all that shit out. And because it was happening in an apartment with my name on it and we got all that shit out of there, I don't want to deal with the shit from it, so I won't go into any more detail than that. But yeah.
Did Xanderhal just admit to a crime? I mean, this would be considered covering up a meth lab, but I'm no lawyer. I just saw that one episode where Saul gets Jesse his house back.
Good try of sneaking a meth-contaminated property past the buyer. I mean, could have been a good deal for you.
But the thing many found fishy is that, in his interview with Chud Logic, Xanderhal claims to have photos for all of this, which he planned to expose in his response video.
It had been 10 days since I had been to that apartment, and I walk in. There are pics, and they'll be shown off on stream.
But then, when it came to his response stream 10 days later, he failed to show any pictures of his apartment. And his reasoning is because it would be embarrassing or something, which makes no sense. You're accusing your ex-girlfriend of a felony. You need to back that up. Even worse is that he changes his story.
He has a
claiming that
freaking...
she wasn't actively making drugs.
His girlfriend has a freaking meth lab, and he covers it up.
Find in the living room other than a big
Dude.
package of shrink-wrapped assorted jars, along with what seemed to be a beaker and some other glassware they just bought sitting on top of it. Now, I've seen Breaking Bad, and I've seen Walt and Jesse's meth lab, and it certainly wasn't that. Like I said on Chud's stream, I don't know what drug, if any, she was planning on making, but I'm just glad she hadn't started yet, because if she had, I would have had to call the police for them to go clear the building, because that apartment hadn't been inhabited for days, and good lord, I grew up in Florida, and I know
when is he
better
ever
than
not
most of you
exaggerating?
guys what happens when a neighbor leaves a meth lab unattended. It happened to my best friend's neighbor in middle school.
I don't even know why he had to make these claims if they're not true. You already got her, dude. You showed evidence that she had meth in her possession. Now you're going overboard, Xanderhal. This whole situation was still a massive hit to his reputation, as Lonnie's main goal here was to garner sympathy, and humiliate him publicly. It's why her twitlonger includes random things that don't matter, like Xan allegedly trashing his room and begging his mommy for weed. There were also rumors floating around that Xanderhal knew about Lonnie cheating on him with her drug dealer, though it's never been officially confirmed. As much as I'd like to believe the cuck allegations, I don't think Xan is some sexual deviant. Based on that BDSM test he took on stream, he might be the only breadtuber with a somewhat normal sex life. You know, if you ignore the fact that his girlfriend was ingesting meth and wasting his money on her gambling addiction. I mean
relatively normal life, sex life.
On November 20th, 2022, the YouTuber Shoeonhead would put out this viral tweet, calling out the fashion company Balenciaga. The brand Balenciaga just did a interesting photo shoot for their new products recently, which included a very purposely poorly hidden court document about virtual child porn, normal stuff. Now a correction that needs to be made is that these are actually from two separate photo shoots, but all these photos are creepy as fuck. Two of them show little girls holding teddy bears wearing what looks to be bondage gear, and the other one shows a handbag and a bunch of documents. One of these documents is a US Supreme Court case related to virtual child porn. Many were outraged by this, leading to Balenciaga apologizing, and later deleting their social media accounts for a decent bit of time. But because Shu has a pretty mixed audience, some conservatives would speak out against Balenciaga, which Xanderhal didn't really like that much. He had long held a love-hate friendship with her, maintaining it because she had associated with other leftist creators like Vosh and Keffels. But for a while, he had been trying to find an excuse to burn the bridge with her, especially after
Yeah,
she
it was a
previously spoke out
shit
against
show.
children attending drag shows, which
I
he
still
thinks
don't know
is
what
A-okay.
Balenciaga
but
was
this Balenciaga tweet was his final straw.
thinking with
responding
that.
with,
Shoe-on-Head on her way to once again use her massive platform to provide the neo-Nazis in her audience with fodder they can use to justify the murder of gay people. But this time, the day after another anti-gay terror attack.
He would then go on stream to explain his tweet, as it comes across as insane and demented.
That isn't exactly
Sean
raw off the
Head
tongue.
has used her massive platform to do something that has provided the neo-Nazis in her audience, you follow along? We agree so far? With fodder they can and then did use to justify the murder of gay people. But this time, the day after another, because there's been many, anti-gay terror attack. Solid gift, solid tweet. Does anybody here feel as though this was me just striking out of nowhere, completely unwarranted?
Yes, Sanderhall,
Yes.
it does feel like that. You're using the Club Q shooting from the day before in order to weaponize your audience against Shu. Yet he thinks she's the one using that tactic, claiming her tweet will allow conservatives to weaponize the Balenciaga scandal against gay people. Which is bizarre because nowhere in her tweet did Shu mention gay people. Either Zan automatically thinks of gay people when pedophilia is a topic of discussion, or he's just mentally unwell. Maybe he took some of Ronnie's meth.
I just kept on seeing these posts, right? It's literally a day after a mass shooting motivated by this ideology. Shoe-on-Head knows that she's got a bunch of neo-Nazis and reactionaries following her. She posts some conspiracy bait that she knows the Nazis in her audience are going to run with, because they did it last time she did something like this. I decided it was time to call it out.
These conservative bottom feeder Twitter accounts will use any tweet they can to rile people up. Yet
Yeah,
Zan
they're
is more
grifters.
focused on calling
It's
out
just
Shu
what
because
they
he is an axe
do.
to grind. The rest of the stream is just him bitching and moaning that Shu blocked him on Twitter for being a schizo, and also pulling up tweets where right-wingers are calling him a retarded fat. Xanderhal would then form a dogpile on her with others in his circle. One being the airheaded streamer Denims, known for trying to fuck all the men she's attempted to orbit. She would spend her stream downplaying the Balenciaga scandal, even claiming that bondage wear was in no way sexual. Not surprisingly, she would later go on to defend Chris Tyson and Keffels when they were exposed for grooming minors.
Oh yeah, did you know
You
that
guys think this is BDSM
Denims was once
gear?
a Tumblr
Do
user?
you think that this is also BDSM gear? You think this is BDSM gear? It's literally Hot Topic. Dog, it's literally Hot Topic.
Oh, and then Demon Mama, this absolute freak, pedo-jacket Shu by claiming her tweet is a form of projecting.
If you're so triggered that you see a piece of leather and you know, I don't know, maybe Shoe-on-Head sees a piece of leather next to a child and starts getting a little, you know, riled up. Maybe it's a little bit of projection on Shoe-on-Head's part. Or maybe she's just full of shit.
Friendship ended with Shoe-on-Head. Now Demon Mama is my best friend.
Oh no! Petco.com! Oh no! They're selling pedophile wear!
Yeah, this person is denser than a fucking black hole. Also, important to note that this person later got exposed for having a bunch of minors in their not safe for work Discord. So literally just a Nuxtaku situation. Oh, and their partner was
Left or
allegedly
right,
Michelle
you're always
Khan,
gonna have
so
a
this really
groomer
was the
somewhere.
pot calling the kettle black. Xanderhal would end up getting banned on Twitter, claiming it was due to Shu's fans mass reporting him. However, it was actually due to him telling a random Twitter user to off themselves, which is funny to me, as he was constantly portraying himself as the victim here. When Shu announced her video covering the situation, he would whine about it, later revealing this information to Keffels.
Somebody that she actually allowed to follow her private account ended up sending me a tweet she'd made where she said, "I'm currently working on a slander hall video." She was going to make a video, and she called it a slander hall video.
If you've done 3 videos about her, why is it the greatest sin that she does a response video?
She called it the slander hall video. She was planning a video in which she was going to slander me. That's why her own followers that knew both of us
If
that
she
were
was gonna
allowed
call
onto
it
her
a
private
slander
Twitter
hall video,
leaked it
that
to me.
means that she's calling you the slanderer.
Bro, not even the biggest crybully in the world is taking him seriously. That's how much of a massive pussy Zan is being. Her response would come out 2 weeks later, where she recaps the situation and dunks on XANDERHAL and many others for hijacking it. XANDERHAL's response was to double down, claiming that Shu supports Nazis and is spreading harmful conspiracy theories. His evidence for this is weak at best. He thinks that Shu merely following these people on Twitter is an endorsement of some kind, and the posts of theirs she's responding to have nothing to do with
so the embracing
Shuanhead and
in
this
Shadow's
Pedro Gonzalez
defense.
guy are like actual friends. Oh, here's an interesting one. Why are you as a father so obsessed with the growing normalization of pedophilia? Do you guys really think there's actually a growing normalization of pedophilia? In like Western society, outside of conservative spaces that want to lower the age of consent so that like old men can marry 13-year-old girls, do you think outside of conservative spaces there is a growing normalization of pedophilia? There is not. This is conspiracy brain, that alone.
Like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything besides shifting the goalpost? And yet, he has the fucking gall to think Shu is conspiracy-brained, when he proceeds to go on an unhinged rant about how she must believe the Jews rule the world, all because she made an Epstein joke.
Also, just so everyone knows, I am not suicidal, just in case news comes out that I was found with 3 designer bullets in the back of my head. Ow.
So she's just like full on, like the Jews are gonna get her, I guess, is what she believes. So now she's like a martyr who's gonna get like killed by the Jews for fighting against their like pedo agenda or something. Is that what she believes? Okay.
And then 10 minutes later, she disproves this narrative, leading to XANDERHAL shifting the goalpost once again.
Do I think they are literally trafficking children? I don't think that. I don't know that. I've never claimed to know that. What I do know is that this is a huge fuck up from a billion-dollar company. And when a billion-dollar
Okay, so they aren't doing anything to kids. So the worst case scenario is it was a kind of weird photo shoot and a different photo shoot with a weird document. So that's all it was. You're admitting that. You don't think that there's some child sex trafficking pedo ring in the basement? See, so apparently it's just subliminal messaging. That's what she thinks it is? Conspiracy brain is wild.
His friend Keffels would try to mend the bridge between the two, but XANDERHAL is extremely stubborn and can't accept the fact that he's wrong about something. During a stream they did in February 2023, he argued with her concerning a rumor that Shu's boyfriend is a trans
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Keffels actually decided to look into this and found nothing of the sort.
He is a very much like a, you know, far right. You know, like, if you don't like me calling him a Nazi, I can call him very far right.
Hold on a second. I found his Twitter account. I'm gonna take a look. If your
What is
solution to
this?
the trans issue is mocking murdered teens, you will be very uncomfortable when God asks why you mistreated his creations instead of loving. He's literally defending trans people in the post.
Sure, this one's a bit older, but here's one where he says they've gotten a majority of the Western
February
world
14th.
to...
This was from 4 days ago.
Okay.
The problem, as you can blatantly see, is that this guy couldn't take a fucking L. He let this drama and its aftermath fester in his mind over the next year, which would eventually destroy all the connections he had left within BreadTube. While they disagreed with some things, XANDERHAL remained friends of Keffels through and through. They would stream together quite often, and XANDERHAL was down to support her righteous mission to take down the gossip forum, Kiwi Farms. She had claimed that the website was responsible for swatting her and forcing her to hide in Ireland, a story that was dubious at best. Though for over a year, she was able to write off all valid criticism as bigotry, waving her trans identity around and always acting like the victim. Xan didn't see anything wrong with her rancid online behavior, but instead decided to burn the bridge with her over something completely retarded. Keffels had remained friends with Shuanhead despite Xan's constant whining, and in December 2023, she defended her against this greasy little goblin man named Thought Slime. In response, XANDERHAL began foaming at the mouth and ran to Twitter to voice his thoughts.
Why did no one tell me that Keffels dick rides Shu so hard after she pedo-jacketed me and Demon Mama? Actual snake behavior.
The two would then debate on stream, retreading on the Balenciaga drama while discussing guilt by association. Both Vosh and Keffels disagreed with many of the things Shu had said, but are not willing to sever their connection to her. But XANDERHAL is only going after Keffels, so she calls him out for being a cowardly hypocrite.
Like, I stick my neck out for you and I act like a real friend when you need help, and then you're willing to burn me over this?
How am I burning you? I literally am not burning you. All I'm going to do is all I planned to do before I came on here today is make a video segment where I explain why I burnt the bridge, explain my feelings. It feels like you were kind of trying to make me sound insane
snake and a dick
crazy.
rider.
Like I said, I felt bad for saying that.
And I know that now. And I don't even think that you do. I think that you feel the same way.
I was emotional. I honestly feel a little bit like how I said that what I said in that tweet. The more that we talk, because it feels like you just want to continue to defend what she did to a degree. It feels like you're defending what she did.
The two would fling responses at each other back and forth over the next week, with Xan vague posting about how big things were coming, and that many of their mutual acquaintances were unhappy with Keffals.
I'm not going to say too much because I've been asked not to. All I'm going to say is, Keffals, to get at me and to hurt me because of this, has hurt some people behind the scenes that are mutuals of ours. And they're really not happy, and they're gonna be speaking up with their side of things. And it's probably gonna change a lot of people's perspective.
He then retweeted someone that accused Keffals of abusing their ex-partner, which escalated the drama real quick. This led to her making a stream titled "I Was Raped," where she was forced to reveal that she was actually the one being abused in a previous relationship, which was the real reason she moved to Ireland.
And the reason that I don't talk about my ex is that over the course of several years, my ex mentally, emotionally, and sexually abused me. And I never wanted to talk about it. I have very actively avoided talking about it. I have nightmares about this stuff. This shit is just fucking cruel.
So now XANDERHAL looks like a massive asshole to a good chunk of his audience, and he began losing hundreds of thousands of subs over this, and strangely it would take him almost 2 weeks to respond, writing out this manifesto-style Google Doc about Keffals and reading it out on stream. He does apologize for retweeting that post, but does go on to yap about random bullshit for another hour and a half. He also planned on leaking DMs between Keffals and his editor, Cherry, which allegedly had some career-ending information. ChudLogic heard about this and mentioned it on stream, with White Nervosa eventually stepping in. They're the owner of White Forest, a platform used by a lot of these breadtubers in order to sell their merch and promote their content. Socialists who hate capitalism but still want to sell their shitty logo on a t-shirt. I mean, come on, if you ever see a bloke walking around with a XANDERHAL X logo on a shirt, I think you have permission from God himself to beat the shit out of that person. Is this a fucking $38 sports bra? I doubt women even watch XANDERHAL, unless they're trans or have some form of BPD. Okay, sorry for that.
I don't even think trans people watch XANDERHAL.
It's basically just a cabal of Keffals dick suckers, and White Nervosa will kick anyone who goes after her, such as Rose Wrist. Nervosa made this long-ass tweet calling out XANDERHAL, doing the equivalent of a mom taking away their son's Xbox privileges. Nervosa threatened to remove his website, so he chickened out of leaking those DMs, which is a damn shame honestly. This would have legitimately been a badass moment for him, but that would require a spine. So now it's back to being a whipping boy for a bunch of deranged online leftists. It would end up being Mudahar of some ordinary gamers who leaked these DMs, showing Keffals doxing Bana Panada and gloating about becoming a private investigator. This completely dismantled the narrative that Keffals was this innocent victim being mass targeted by a big bad doxing website, being the final nail in the coffin that destroyed her reputation. XANDERHAL would also end up getting into conflict with Vosh, who earlier in 2024 had been exposed as a lolicon horsecock enjoyer.
Referring to.
However, the revelation
that
of
clip
Vosh's
never gets old.
wasn't what made Xan dislike the guy. It instead had to do with his takes regarding the 2024 US presidential election. Several colleagues of his, including Demon Mama, wanted Joe Biden to exit the presidential race in light of several public blunders, like his then recent debate with Donald Trump.
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
And now we have a president who shits his pants on
A lot of
live
Democrats
television.
wanted to replace Biden with someone more capable and not 2 minutes away from death. But as usual,
Yippee.
XANDERHAL is stubborn and wanted Biden to hold out.
And here's the clip that Vosh says, you are insane if you think Biden shouldn't drop out immediately. Prepare yourselves to cringe.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
No, Joe! Joe!
President Putin. He's gonna beat President Putin. President Zelensky.
He corrects himself immediately, too. It's like, okay, he misspoke.
He then compares streamers misspeaking to Biden misspeaking, as if Biden wasn't one of the most powerful people in the world. But Zan thinks it's insane for anyone to criticize Biden, labeling people like Vosh as grifters and claiming they secretly want Trump to win. XANDERHAL even challenged the horsecock enjoyer to a debate.
We're doing a reaction for now.
Yeah,
and
because that went well.
But if you want to do a debate on this at a later date, maybe later in the stream, I'm totally down. But I want to hear your arguments in this video. I don't like them so far, sadly. I think you're way too hard on Biden.
But Vosh was watching this stream and didn't give a single fuck about XANDERHAL, seeing him as a backstabber after the whole Keffels drama. He declined the debate offer, seeing it as a waste of time since the guy clearly only wanted clout.
He said he wanted to debate. Of course he wants to debate. That's the fucking #1, man. Hey, here's some like incomprehensibly retarded shit that I'm saying. Here's an argument that fails the first hurdle. I don't need to debate this. The argument just lost. You might as well debate. Hey, debate me 1 + 1 = 3, bro. No, fuck you. It's all money to you people. It's crazy. Jet, you have no principle. No one believes anything. What the fuck is there to debate? You're empirically, objectively wrong. Argue with God.
XANDERHAL admitted defeat here, and a week later, it was announced that Joe Biden would be stepping down from his re-election campaign, with his VP Kamala Harris taking over. During his coverage of this, he said something out of spite that really pissed off members of his audience.
Biden was very pragmatic, and yeah, he would joke, but it would be like how an old man jokes. I would have still voted for him proudly, but I'm really excited for voting for Kamala. I mean, that's well and good. I will admit that a very small part of me, kinda wants to see Trump win, or it's less so wants to see Trump win, but thinks Trump will win, and when he does, that part of me will be able to I told you so everybody who called for Biden to step down.
Well, a broken clock is right twice a day, unfortunately.
What?
No, alright. I know that sounds bad.
Classic clip.
Point, he had severed any ties he had left to BreadTube, and Demon Mama would do 2 different streams completely trashing him. More context was given to the White Nervosa drama from months ago, with Demon Mama stating that Xana not only burned the bridge with her, but also his editor, Cherry. It's claimed that XANDERHAL was financially abusing Cherry, and would get furiously angry at her. In response, he said this claim was blown way out of proportion.
According to Demon Mama, you completely blew up at Cherry. That's a really bad look, not gonna lie. Sometimes me and Cherry got stressed out and would yell, but like, no more than just general like friend arguments and stuff. We also had a tendency to spam things at each other in all caps. Have you tried reaching out to Cherry not on stream to talk with? I like she blocked me out of nowhere. Like the Cherry blocking me thing was
out of nowhere, right?
We were completely chill, and then out of nowhere they just like say I'm gonna block you before you block me, because at that very moment Demon Mama was doing her stream. Like it's.
So Demon Mama then dropped an absolute nuke. The DMs between XANDERHAL and Cherry, where he berates and scolds her for the fact that Progressive Victory, this left-wing political organization he works for, didn't send him any money. He blames this on her, and threatens to move back to California from Seattle and fire her. And now, a reading of these absolutely insane Discord messages.
Okay, so I think I'm fucked. Still no money, and still does not show as pending in my bank account. Okay, the number was wrong, confirmed. The $4,000 went to some rando. It has to be stopped. Cherry, ASAP, emergency, fuck, homeless. I am now homeless. Cherry, why? And
honestly, I'm surprised you didn't do it sooner.
Now, please, I'm gonna be homeless. Cherry, 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 I have never been paid by PV before, according to all of my bank info. Not ever before. Cherry, answer now. I will be homeless starting tomorrow. Cherry, Okay, so we are buying my ticket back to California now. Thank you for completely ghosting me tonight. I will never forget it, never. The only way to save me is for Progressive Victory to pay me everything they owe. I have never received a single payment, not one. I am fucked. I am fucked. Cherry, answer now. Cherry, you have fucking killed me. Why?
You laugh, you lose.
Why? Please!
And you already lost. Dang it.
Please! 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 Answer now! Answer! I have messaged Brianna myself. When you are back online, we need to have a conversation about your future employment. If I am saved, it will be no thanks to you. If I am fucked, it's your fault for not making sure they paid me. You swapped the fucking numbers, and they weren't able to pay me because of that. Now the 4K is on the way to some fucking guy. I am waiting.
XANDERHAL continues.
I want you to know that if I have to fly back to California tomorrow, I cannot bring my PC. I will not be able to afford your pay. Your job will not exist anymore tomorrow because you wouldn't message me back.
Yeah.
This is
I've had
still
meltdowns before, though.
But
Never
time
really
is now
online.
slipping away. And if
Or at least I
you're
don't
asleep
really think
and
I've had
see
them
this
online.
in the morning,
I don't
it's
know.
already too late. I am now also in hot water with Brianna because I look bad for having you handle this shit while I was busy. You were the one who got me to join Progressive Victory. I told you I would be too busy to handle this stuff, and you said you would. I have to now pay another $250 so my mom could reschedule her flight and extend her rental car for next week. My lease still ends in 25 hours, but I won't be stranded here without her when I get kicked out. I could have locked in this house hours ago if you were fucking awake to send me the W-9 and pay agreement from Progressive Victory to verify my income, you fucking fuck! I would have had the place. I would have been moved in by now, you motherfucker. You are the only person holding this whole process back. Now you fuck! If I end up being made homeless because this place gets
Or at the very least,
up
get
by
off his
tomorrow,
fucking weed
and
pen.
I'm stuck living with my abusive mom again, and my fans ask why I am back where I started, I'll make sure they know it was because of you.
Cherry then finally calls him 20 minutes later.
Weed.
Though this conflict
Not
didn't end here.
even
A few
once.
weeks later, in the midst of the Keffels drama, she confronted him over not paying her.
You probably won't even pay me this month.
Why do you think I won't pay you? Tell me why you think that I can't and how it makes me bad.
You didn't last month.
Why? Say it. Why couldn't I pay you? And how does that reason make me an asshole? I'm gonna get evicted at the end of this month at this rate, Cherry. We've not made enough money. I cannot change that.
I have been your #1 supporter for 2.5 years. I'm worried if I don't agree to this, you're going to hurt me.
I'm not Keffels.
You talk about wanting people to die a lot.
A lot of people need to
Oh,
die,
that's
to be
ominous.
fair.
Yeah.
We're still friends, right? Like, you still want to see my dog and stuff?
Hours later, he goes on this crazy, unhinged rant about Keffels.
I hate all of them, Cherry. I want all of them to die. I would kill Keffels in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even shoot her. I'd beat her to death with the gun.
You're not in a good mental state.
I will kill
Yeah,
her!
think?
What's her address? I want it. I want to know where she's at.
She's in Ireland. It's not public. Please stop. You're spiraling.
Someone has to die for this. I will never be happy until someone has died for this. Ideally, Keffels.
Her career is going to die.
And Velvet and her fucking orbiters. I have to kill her.
Yeah.
Really kill her.
Yeah,
Stop
dude.
her heart.
Her career's already
fucking
dead.
Stop. Calm down. Stop.
Shut the fuck up.
Please.
Okay.
This rant obviously disturbed Keffels, who made a Twitter thread saying she'd leave the internet again. Oh, and she dropped this really pretentious speech on Discord, ending with, "Thank you for calling me by my actual name. Caffles was a persona, a brand, not a person. I am Clara Sorrenti. Goodbye, Caffles, rest in piss." Nobody sympathized
Yeah,
with
won't
her
be
here,
missed.
as by this point, she was known as a scammer and groomer. XANDERHAL's reputation had also completely tarnished, being seen as a mentally insane freak scrounging for cash so he doesn't go homeless. XANDERHAL has always been a financially challenged person, with his views constantly
To say the
dipping
least.
since 2022. But by election season, he was really feeling it. It was common to see this guy doom posting about how his career was failing, even making this embarrassing Discord
Gee,
post about not
I
having enough
wonder
money to fix
why.
his phone.
Pretty bad news for you all today.
Fucking
A while
jackass.
ago, my phone fell out of my pocket and onto my driveway, shattering the screen and making it so it can't turn on. My two-factor authentication was connected to my number, so I quickly became aware that if anything happened to log me out of Google, I'd basically be screwed until I could get a new phone with my number moved over to it. Well, that something happened today, and when I came downstairs, my PC had restarted itself for an update, parentheses normal, but logged me out of everything. I got back into most of it, but my YouTube/Google is logged out, and I need my phone number to log back in. This basically means I am locked out of my YouTube channel until further notice. I am gonna do everything I can, short of Karening out at an Xfinity store today, but if that doesn't work, would you guys still support me if I had to start a new channel?
All of this over needing to get his phone screen fixed, which Kristen Nark pointed out only cost a couple $100. Does XANDERHAL not have enough money to buy something this important? Well, apparently yes, as around this time, he began what I would call his e-begging arc, where Xan would go on stream and beg his viewers to watch and engage with his content since he wasn't getting as much ad revenue. However, he does it through this us versus them mentality, claiming it's mainly an issue affecting leftist creators online.
Like little over 10%, sorry, of people who've gone into the stream today chose to hit the like button, despite it taking half a second. That is what kills so many lefty YouTube channels. Just like the low rate of voting participation among progressives, they also think their likes and their comments don't count when there's millions that are being included in an algorithm to account for things, and so they don't get involved. And so lefty channels have always had really low engagement and had a really hard time existing online, like going back to the beginning, because lefties don't click things, they don't engage, they don't vote, they don't make their voice heard because they're just one person.
Yeah, I wonder why
Now, to
Donald
me,
Trump's
this sounds
in
fucking
president.
retarded. There's a lot of lefty creators of good engagement. They just happen to put some semblance of effort into their content. Even Vosh, despite his reputation of jerking it to animated children, still gets good engagement on his streams and videos. I think XANDERHAL's main issue is that he streams within an oversaturated market, and can't compete with a lot of the big dogs. And nothing shows us better than the Innuendo Studios situation. Ian Danskin, or Innuendo Studios, is a failed YouTuber known for his alt-right playbook series, where he complains about arguments he gets into.
Who is
Twitter,
also a cuck,
but after the
surprisingly
pandemic,
enough.
He stopped uploading as much, blaming it on a bunch of different factors like his back hurting. Since then, he's been losing money, and released a video in May 2025 that tried to garner sympathy from his audience.
I have been running this channel at a loss for 7 years, and between back taxes I owe the government, a maxed out credit card that is in collections, and money I owe to a few people who've bailed me out, I have a total accumulated debt that is pushing $100,000.
What the actual fuck is wrong with this guy? It's all his own fault, by the way. This guy avoided paying his taxes for years while sitting on his ass watching movies and playing video games all day.
Yeah.
I do these little projects where like I have a
Why didn't he just
film
become a
randomizer
streamer?
list. It's like a list of
Everyone else
this year's
doing
list is like
it.
36 movies where I hit shuffle on Letterboxd.
He already has an audience, so
whichever one comes
seems like a
up first,
no-brainer
I try
for
to
him.
Get through the whole list by the end of the year, and I write little reviews for them. I have like a video game cabinet, just games I'm trying to get through before the end of the year. I do a reading log, and I make a playlist, a 6-song playlist every month that I share with patrons.
But like a lot of leftists, he
fair.
gets away with this behavior by begging his massive audience to donate him money. And these idiots will give it to him because they believe he's some sort of savior to the left. Noah Samson does the same shit. He went on hiatus for 5 months and said he spent much of this time playing League of Legends. But Ian managed to raise over
Oh god, he's a League of Legends player. No wonder he spiraled that
using
hard.
some of this money to go on hiatus and take a sabbatical. XANDERHAL watched this and
It all makes sense
wow, this
now.
guy is so me-coded. Maybe I can raise a shit ton of money off the back of my retarded fan base. He justifies this laziness by saying progressive content creators have it tough, as if there isn't tons of potential in it right now with the current political climate.
Yeah, not gonna lie, that doesn't exactly fly in a world where Hassan's still making
As much as that
gangbusters.
might not have an impact on voter numbers, like sure, those people are.
I mean, yeah, I hate the dude, but
still protesting, engaging in direct action.
he knew how to
and all those good
make
things
money at the very least.
It is still a tragedy, I think.
Vaguely.
I don't think they're doing anything wrong. They don't have to watch progressive content, but I think it's a tragedy that we're losing that online community that you could argue brought the right its victory, the biggest victory politically they've had in ages with this election. And so, with all that said, we've seen
Also true.
a lot of progressive content creators lately that many of you guys probably think of as household names having to take hiatuses or outright quitting YouTube because, frankly, being a progressive content creator is not worth it for the most part. It takes a lot of hard, diligent work to make it viable.
Again, he's doing this to create an us versus them mentality, thinking that leftist creators will always get the short end of the stick because the algorithm is biased against them, even though in reality it's probably the complete opposite, as YouTube has banned tons of right-wing creators over political extremism. I mean, the only left-wing person who ever came close to that is Destiny.
yeah, Tectone
He got
can
his channel
attest to that.
demonetized for either spreading violent rhetoric following the Charlie Kirk shooting, or because he's a massive pedophile. But for the 100th time, XANDERHAL is stubborn as fuck and thinks his failure is someone else's
fuck
fault.
Destiny.
He even gets told this stuff by a chatter and automatically assumes they're a right-winger there to concern troll him.
From Yasuke Vermeulen in chat says, have you considered making better content? Must be the viewer's fault. You are clearly a conservative in chat to concern troll. And I'll actually use you as an argument before we finish up the segment. Like I said before, you will deal with people like these constantly anytime you try to acknowledge this. The right doesn't want there to be a conversation on the left about the fact that, like, algorithms objectively work the way they do, and if the left is going to reach a broader audience, then, like, the audiences have to engage. They want to try and turn your audience against you when you have that conversation by saying, oh, well, why don't you just make better content? Doesn't matter how good the content is. Like, algorithms work the way they do.
And to justify this insane take, XANDERHAL later made up this deranged schizo theory that YouTube is A/B testing videos against each other, which inherently affects BreadTube.
What's going on here? What's going on? Well, I have a theory. If you're a content creator, or you watch YouTube, you might have heard a phrase called
hilarious.
A/B testing. A/B testing means you're just testing thing A against thing B, and thing B against thing A, trying to see which of the two things does better at anything you're trying to test. Here's the thing though, I don't think A/B testing as a concept is new to YouTube though. I don't think it's new, like 2 years new. I don't. I think behind the scenes, maybe over 5 years now, YouTube has been internally running A/B tests. Like sometimes the algorithm is just nicer to you than other times, right? And has nothing to do with how much effort you're putting in, how good your videos are, how well you're editing, what your topics are. None of it really matters as much as whether or not YouTube is just cumulatively giving you some level of favoritism at certain times. And you can see there have been times where YouTube has done that, where like nothing about my content has changed, and yet we'll have a flat line, a massive spike, and a huge gain in subs, and then a bit of a dip and flat line again.
Hey, maybe that's the problem. That you've been churning out the same shit for the past 5 years and nobody cares anymore. Maybe switch it up? Do something new? But nah, just spam out the same shit over and over again that gets 1,000 views on average. 100,000 sub channel, by the way. What he seems to realize is that all of the money and attention is being soaked up by Hassan and his cronies right now. Something I believe he's envious of, which explains why he's constantly taking these pot shots on Twitter.
I can tell you that he's not making anywhere near as much as you think he is. No progressive YouTuber besides Hassan, or that like sphere that orbits Hassan, is.
Maybe Vosh. Vosh is the one exception outside the Hassan orbit that's making money right now. Obviously, you've got your big channels like Brian Taylor Cohen and Fair and Balanced and stuff, but that's like borderline mainstream news now.
This shift in viewership has left him with very few
Is Destiny still doing okay? I never
$20
actually
in donations per
looked
stream.
into it.
Anyway, guys, let us move on. But first, I gotta update the
Fucking no,
donation
not.
goal to reflect the generous singular donation we've gotten so far. Thank you for the $5, guys. I appreciate it.
That was 2 hours into the stream, by the way. I almost feel bad for the guy if he wasn't such a moronic windbag. He clearly isn't trying
Keyword
hard
is
enough to
almost.
avoid moving back in with his mommy for the 10th time. How else is he supposed to get new weed cartridges?
And of course, if you want to support me directly, financially, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the XANDERHAL studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhal.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buy some custom XANDERHAL merchandise through the Streamlabs link down below.
Yes, guys, please buy my groundbreaking merchandise. These things are collecting dust in a warehouse right now. What's funny is that he actively refuses to take sponsorships, something he desperately needs, though he justifies it by bragging about his moral superiority.
Fundamentally, we have to rely on fan support in order to not come off as disingenuous in what we stand for.
Yeah, I'd break it to you,
We are shooting
XANDERHAL, but
ourselves
morals
in the
don't mean
foot
shit in a
when we
capitalist
take easy
society.
Opportunities to become more financially stable and successful, because to an extent, there is a cultural expectation in the online left that if you're a progressive, you're not exactly rolling in the money, you're not taking easy money payoffs that might be somewhat principally against what you stand for, and I think that's a good thing.
You know, I'm glad you still have morals, XANDERHAL. I hope they serve you well when you're living behind a dumpster in an alleyway next month. It's just awesome hearing this guy brag about morality when he flagrantly pushes false abuse allegations and threatens to kill someone over petty internet drama. XANDERHAL is now floundering, unable to make decent viewership, meaning it's time for him to put the fries in the bag. He's even contemplating this live on stream, saying he'll quit in a few months if things don't get better. It's all a bluff because of his pig-headedness. He can't accept defeat, even though there's 40 arrows in his back, and they all came from different sides of the political spectrum. I can't think of a single person who is willing to back this guy up anymore. It's really pathetic. Not even the most performative of leftists want to support him. And now he's even managed to piss off the clankers, as he recently beefed with an AI slop channel called Dark Brandon. He's waging war against a channel where an AI Jesus is educating people on geopolitics.
Hey there, folks. Hope you're doing well today.
Oh god, he's losing to AI channels now.
US politics could look like in the future. And we thought we'd do so checking in with our favorite rehabilitated pirate, Sticks and Hammer 666.
And yet, somehow, XANDERHAL looks worse in this drama, as his initial coverage was clearly out of jealousy, as potential viewers would rather watch garbage churned out by some basement-dwelling loser in Mumbai.
Now, I've complained a lot lately that it feels as though there's a lot less push on my channel as of late, as we've seen a big flood of new left-wing news channels enter the scene as competition against what I do. Which is fair. Competition means you do less well, less easily in a niche. But what really hurts is to see the left embrace AI slop over real human left-wing people advocating for the same ideas as them.
How about you make good videos, dude? Your own audience thinks Dark Brandon is better than you. They're posting this shit in your Discord server, begging you to watch it.
But people are falling for it in my own community. My own fans are recommending me this guy's content to watch on stream as a source of information to talk about the news. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little salty that some of my subscribers are watching this AI slop channel instead of me. I'm gonna be fully transparent here. Like, the channel is in the worst place it's been ever. America is in the worst place it's been ever. The right is on top. And some of my own fans are watching this
True that.
as a substitute for real progressive content creators. That low-key pisses me off.
Dark Brandon would post a response to this, and they completely mogged XANDERHAL somehow. They simply label him as a salty little loser and brag about stealing his viewers, as people would rather watch this garbage than whatever boring segment XANDERHAL is putting out.
We are listening to our audience and hearing what they want to see and delivering on it. The algorithm is nothing more than your audience. And if your audience is choosing to watch our content instead of yours, there's a reason.
XANDERHAL wasn't able to give any good rebuttals to
dude.
this, so he instead spent his response moping and reading a bunch of the hate comments he got. This didn't work, so he also did his tried and true formula of just labeling the creators as right-wing grifters. The sole reason being that they called him soy, which I guess is a word only chuds use.
And one thing that really puts me off about it is, you'll notice that they do the whole, like, lefty snowflake, salty leftist for their video. Doesn't this read a lot like a right-wing grift video a little bit?
Well, XANDERHAL found a
A
way.
little bit. Like a right-wing grift video, maybe. Just a little.
I honestly don't know how much lower this guy can get besides beefing of literal lolcows like World of T-shirts or DSP. His content feels like watching a modern-day iDub stream, though since him and Lonnie split, there isn't a tattooed BPD whore there by his side. He's pretty much alone with no allies, and while I don't like the guy, I don't hate him either. His worst crimes are poorly handling drama and saying retarded shit on stream, while many of his enemies have been exposed for far worse. You got Vosh, who jerks off to children, Keffels, who scammed her fans out of $100 grand and promoted bathtub estrogen, Hassan, who shocks his dog and promotes terrorism, and Destiny, who's a sex pest and full-blown And again, with XANDERHAL, it's that he's really bad with money. I said this sarcastically a year ago, and I'll say it again. Chat, I think it's time we resurrect XANDERHAL. People didn't really like this take, but we gotta hype him up. We need the XANDERHAL that was in those DMs of Cherry. The angry XANDERHAL that's willing to put out the same energy towards some of these right-wing grifters. Imagine this guy going after Tectone or Nuxtaku. That's what I want to see. No more of this pussy shit where he slowly watches news footage for 5 hours.
Actually,
Obviously,
that'd
he's
be
not
a
gonna follow
fun
my
thing to
advice,
watch.
as he's stubborn to a T. But I'm a very optimistic person. At the end of the day, XANDERHAL just wanted to shit on some right-wingers and make a bit of money, as he dreamed of settling down once he had his fun.
I finally rest and watch the sunrise on a grateful universe. The hardest choices require the strongest wills.
Once he completed his mission of destroying the alt-right pipeline, he didn't want to live a lavish lifestyle. XANDERHAL wanted to settle down and start a quail farm, spending his days tending to his flock and gazing at the sunset while smoking out of his weed pen.
Right now, I'm actually saving up for a move up to, like, the Seattle area, up in Washington State, and I plan to rent a house in the backyard back there sometime end of this year, early next year, establish a quail coop, and make raising quail part of my political content. I'm gonna incorporate those two things. And
Oh,
it's
hell
gonna,
yeah.
And it's gonna
That
happen.
rules.
So if you want quail eggs, then
I
mean,
want
you can
quail
have 'em.
eggs.
How are your quail farm plans going, by the way? Well, right now I am still saving up to move into a proper house with a nice fenced backyard that can facilitate raising quail up until the end of the summer. But the channel is popping off right now, and ad revenue is gone.
Man, that's
so
just
it's
sad.
definitely going to help. But what really helps get us there is just people donating. So if you want to support the stream and you want to help us get to that point, then you can always support me by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhal.com/live.
XANDERHAL, listen, it's me, Boogie. I know things are tough for you right now with the channel losing viewers and subscribers. Believe me, I know. But I believe in you. I just hope one day you can actually start that quail farm and produce a ton of eggs. Just don't forget to give my fat ass some. And hey, if that doesn't work out, you can just join me and Keemstar on LOLCal Live. Sammy will be there too, and Melissa's kidneys give out. We're always looking for some fresh meat over there. I mean, new talents. New talent. We're looking for locals. All right, buddy. Get well soon.
Ended with a Boogie 298 jump scare. Yeah, that was Rob Media's video on XANDERHAL. Alright, let's see, what's next?